Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary. Hello, welcome to Great Mother Speaks. I'm Tammy Taylor, your manifestation muse, and today we're talking about Pisces moon sign. We are the offspring of the creative primordial forces of the Great Mother Father God. Great Mother, the still small voice of intuition, our soul space and moon sign. Great Father, the spark of inspiration to materially create our sun sign. Both join in Aries, April 22nd, 23rd, this new moon in Ashwini Nakshatra, the stellar constellation of beginnings, miracles, pioneering, equine energy, bringing of the dawn, quickening, the horn of Aries, fast and furious, impatience and transition. And what a transition we are undergoing with Saturn, the firstborn of Great Mother Father God, in Capricorn conjunct Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars at this time on planet Earth. We are experiencing these energies as an uprooting of the old systems and the creation of the new. This is the beginning of the transition from the Piscean age to Aquarius. Since Great Mother's last message and those preceding those messages back in the fall of 2019, October, 3 years or so, she's been preparing us for this time of deep seeding and life reflection, cleansing, rebirth, and recognizing that there is a constriction occurring with regard to our internal truths. If you are new to this channel, Great Mother speaks to those of us with mama drama trauma through her signs and symbols of the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, the lunar cycle, the moon phases, chakras, gods and goddesses of which we are equal to as gods and goddesses, children of the Great Mother Father God, and the symbolism of the story of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, the poster child of mama drama trauma. MDT is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto the child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases where she is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal her own trauma, because it is a cycle, loving detachment is required for us to live a happy, healthy, and whole life. And indeed, happiness, health, and wholeness is the birthright of children of the Great Mother Father God. Reclaiming this divinity identity is the key to not only healing mama drama trauma, but healing all that ails us in our human experience. With mama drama trauma, there's always an issue of ignorance. It is a planetary disorder, she has shared with me as the creator of this deck and inner work life coach specializing in this area, since she, working with her, has healed my own. Mama drama trauma has a wide spectrum from ignorance to denial to the regular, ordinary interaction between mother and child that is one of a soulmate contract for learning and growing, and within it naturally has conflict, to the extreme cases of abandonment and abuse. There are telltale signs of mama drama trauma, and if you'd like to know more about those, you can click the link to the video below. Great Mother gives her messages for those of us who are in the daily practice of our divinity identity, which is first and foremost the affirmation that anyone can do and that anyone who is seriously undertaking this work to transition from MDT identity, made up of a life of shame, blame, and guilt, into divinity identity. This is what we say to ourselves all day, every day, to transform shame, blame, and guilt into that divinity identity. It is, I am a dearly loved divine child of the great Mother, Father God, who was never judged, condemned, or left alone. Her encouraging messages through the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck supplement this divinity practice by allowing us to get in touch with her soul to soul and the support that is available to us in the moment to heal feelings of shame, blame, and guilt. You know, when MDT is acknowledged after releasing the denial of it, we're overwhelmed with even more feelings of shame, blame, and guilt because we know intuitively that it's not our mother or our child. Many times people have problems with mama drama trauma in the raising of their children, having suffered from it themselves, and they're may be an ignorance of mama drama trauma and a projection of it onto the child, which is why acknowledgement is so important, so we can see what our child is mirroring to us and we can stop the cycle. Someone has to. And so this is the purpose, this is the intention of sharing these readings, to get in touch with this eternal support that's available to us through the signs and the symbols of the lunar phases, which represent the planetary support that is also available to us with this Aries new moon. I try to get these out for new and full moon, but it does depend on my work schedule, and it is quite intense at this time, but I felt it really necessary because Great Mother is really wanting to let you know that as you're going through this time, you need to remember you are the child of the mother of all mothers, the father of all fathers, and you have the support that you need in each moment to actually feel your moon sign, your emotions, and intuitively know this. And when you don't, because of the conditioning of mama drama trauma, she offers this practice and these messages of support to you. So these are your Aries new moon messages for 2020. Pisces, this Aries new moon is all about you being in a place of questioning your sense of awareness of your emotions, trusting how you feel about your self-care. You're processing these feelings, not quite sure whether or not you're doing your self-soothing, your daily diet, your daily routine in a way that supports your health mentally, spiritually, and physically. But you're up for the challenge to do so. In fact, that's exactly what you want. You realize, or perhaps you don't, that boundaries are important at this time. If you realize that, you are really wanting more self-mothering time. If you don't, this new lunar cycle will encourage you to make space for that self-soothing you so desperately need at this time. There's some feelings of disappointment around you having to do this for yourself as opposed to someone else, in particular your mother or mother figure or someone who holds that maternal energy for you. There's some frustration that they are either unable, unwilling, or unavailable to do so for you. The reason this self-doubt, this lack of confidence around self-care exists is because of the feelings of shame, blame, and guilt about being abandoned and somehow abused, feeling that somehow this is your fault. And so the questioning about whether or not that's true is coming up for you, and many of you are determining it is not. And so what to do about it? Surrender,
to the reality of your divinity, that you are indeed a dearly loved divine child of the great Mother, Father God, who is never judged, condemned, or left alone. By the end of this lunar cycle, as we go into the Taurus new moon around the 21st, 22nd of May, this may become yet another cycle of healing that begins with Taurus energy. Or you will, in fact, be able to recognize the limitations of those you expect to do the mothering for you, to you, you so desperately need. So looking specifically at the cards, the center card here, self-inquiry, is coming up letting you know that the questioning of is it true is very much a second chakra energy for you at this time. And second chakra energy is being expressed in your first house of Pisces. The second chakra is ruled by Jupiter, which rules Pisces. And so the self-inquiry is very much a feeling that you have. It's very apparent at this particular time, and it's something that you are very closely emotionally identified with. There's a struggle with regard to how to do this because Pisces is square Sagittarius. Now, Pisces is spirituality. Sagittarius is religion. So there's something about a come to Jesus moment. There's something about becoming very clear on what your beliefs truly are, what spirituality really serves you at this particular time. There's more energy around this 10th house for you, if indeed this is your first house. Your moon in Pisces is your first house. This is resonating very strongly with you. If there are other positions, well, then you generally are resonating with the collective consciousness of this particular sign. And what's bringing this self-inquiry, this identification with there being some issue about shame, blame, and guilt is processing. Now, these first two cards are major arcana cards in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. We aspire to live in loving detachment, and we're looking at how the cosmic calculus and your particular moon sign, your moon yogas are being supported to live in loving detachment, to find your way back home to internal peace. And so we aspire to accept what is, which is that we have mothers who are unable, unwilling, or unavailable to give us the love that we need. Doesn't make her right or us wrong. It is the soul contract of Mama Drama Trauma to force us to evolve in self-love and spiritual independence. This aspiration, therefore, A is the first suit for the root chakra. Acknowledge all the cards and lunar phases beneath that are to acknowledge MDT. The center card here, self-inquiry, is for the S. And so this is all about that second chakra energy. Again, that Jupiterian energy, that expansive energy beyond acknowledgement that goes into the internal space, questioning the shame, blame, and guilt the MDT is perpetuated. And so what's brought this up for you, this Aries new moon, is processing for the P in Aspire. This is about letting go. Now, all the major arcana cards, as you see, are balsamic moon cards. The balsamic moon phase is the download phase. It is just before the new moon. And so before this reading, you will feel, or you perhaps already have, if you're watching this after the Aries new moon, 21st, 22nd of April, that there were some downloads you were receiving about this concussed energy, this discomfort about your emotional needs not being met by the other, and there being a question with regard to your worthiness and having these needs met at this time. It could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a mother, it could be anything that makes you feel that nurturing, that compassion, that understanding, that is that maternal, that yin energy. So you're processing all this. That is what's bringing this up. And so it may feel at this time to be worsening the situation. You may have some resistance, in other words, with regard to this gut chakra energy. Gut chakra is ruled by Mars. And so the Martian energy that you have, of course, is this new moon. Aries is ruled by Mars in your second house. That's that conjunct energy. When we have planets that are next door to houses, this moon, of course, being in Aries, your second house, and Pisces, your natal moon, is the first moon sign we use for general readings here. And so this collective Piscean moon consciousness is really struggling to process the reality that there is this emotional challenge in not having your needs met at this particular time, and realizing on a deep level, due to the downloads you received, a need to let go, and the clarity about what to let go coming up with the full moon energy of Pisces. Now, this is from that acknowledgement suit, the root chakra suit. The red cards are ruled by Saturn. And so indeed you have self-mothering here in the shadow position. This has to do with the imbalance that is expressing itself at this particular time, some extremity that we're going to. And so maybe there's an extremity in wanting to demand that others give us this attention, or an extremity in cutting ourselves off with a kind of a detachment that has rage behind it. The rage card in this deck is a root chakra card. You do not have that in your spread. The root chakra card you have here is Pisces full moon energy. So that full moon illumination coming around the 7th of May is what you will be building up to. You may not realize at this particular time that that is what your emotional angst is really about. It's really about this need to be cared for. And so now that the clock is at 0, new moon Aries, and we'll be moving to 15 degrees, the halfway mark, May 7th, until the 21st, 22nd of May for the Taurus new moon, this whole lunar cycle is building up to this full moon illumination of Pisces. This is the full moon root chakra card. And so this is about course correction. If there has been a need to detach from others with rage, really kind of course correcting from this point moving forward, or if there has been a demanding that others fulfill this need for you who are unable, unwilling, or unavailable to do so, course correcting and directing that energy of fulfillment within, because you definitely are able. The question is whether or not you're willing or ready. And so the phases building up to the full moon will definitely be supporting you in that area, as we see here with SPHINX in the position of your desire. You're wanting to face the challenge. This is throat chakra, first quarter moon energy. This is all about moving from the illumination, building to the illumination of the full moon of self-mothering. Is this first quarter moon making a decision to do so. So by the first quarter, in about a week or so, you will have an opportunity to marinate on this and to really think about what's going on with your feelings and how to shift to this self-mothering mode. First quarter moon energy is about making a decision to face challenges, and this is in your desire position. This card also really has to do with balancing what's going on with you right now. And so by facing the challenge, you will certainly do that with the support of a balancing quarter moon. The support for your desire is the DURGA card. The DURGA card is part of this clock. As we see, it is a new moon gut chakra card. And so here we are at the Aries new moon, and the gut chakra is ruled by Mars, just as Aries is ruled by Mars. And so we see here that a lot of second chakra energy with this gut chakra of processing before and now with DURGA, with boundaries, a need to really establish boundaries for you to be able to self-soothe, for you to be able to balance your life in a way that honors your unique health needs, your unique mental space needs. And so if that means, particularly at this time, that you're needing space to yourself, even if it's clearing out a room in the home of anyone and saying, I need to close the door and spend some time with myself, that being what you do, and you creating a space in that room for you to feel special, whether it's laying a beach towel on the floor and bringing some fruit in, some grapes or something just to eat and listen to your favorite music, whatever that is. If it is to work with your Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck at that time, or whatever deck you have, or whatever self-soothing, health oriented, what's going to build you up, what's going to support you, these energies are here for you. Durga is in the support position at this new moon for you to be able to, on your blank slate for this lunar cycle, establish with the cosmos their support for you to establish those boundaries. Boundaries are important, not just to keep us from others, but for us to be able to sustain ourselves so that when we re-enter the outside world, we are strong, when we are able to support others in ways that honor us, as we have already done the work to honor ourselves. Mayat is the ego-soul alignment expressing itself at this time. This is all about that first quarter moon energy, that's third eye or inner eye energy, that inner knowing that something isn't quite right. And so the ego mind is aware that the soul is downloading this directive to take care of yourself. And that's where you are right now. If you don't feel that intuitively, that's what Great Mother is saying is going on. And by the first quarter moon, as you're beginning to face this challenge with that SPHINX energy, you will be able to recognize that this incongruency is something that you have the power to resolve. You have the power to address by using what you have to get what you want. And each of us need different things in order for us to feel consoled, in order for us to fully feel soothed. And this third eye energy is ruled by the moon. And so again, this new moon being very supportive of you at this time in your second house. Your second house is the lunar house of processing. And so you already have the processing card. Our moon yogas are set up so that the 12th house from our moon is how we download intuitive information. Our actual lunar house, Pisces, for you is how you feel about it. And so Pisces already has a natural spiritual perception of emotional information. It's already on a very high frequency, and how you process that high frequency is with Aries energy. Download Aquarius, feeling Pisces, processing Aquarius energy. And so right now with Neptune in Aquarius, you're downloading information that you may be questioning. And so that's why the present state of the ego soul alignment is this incongruency. The ego may not be aware of this disappointment. Mayat is about the scales. Okay, the goddess. We're all gods and goddesses, right? As dearly loved divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God. And this archetype older sister is all about the truth of the heart. And so the heart is the crossroads of the ego and the soul. Heart below chakra energy is where the ego mind operates, the body mind operates, that emotional space. And heart above energy, which if this card is third eye energy, is telling you that at this particular time your heart has already imbibed those frequencies, and that is what the angst is about, because 12th house, first house of your moon sign, that's conjuncts, and so that's some really kind of confused energy at this particular time. And so by that first quarter moon, again, that will be processed through Great Mother's phases of cleansing and clarification as that light comes in from this new moon, okay? So this boundary being clarified at the beginning of this new moon is going to allow you this greater clarity. Now, why you want to do this work around clarification is because the new moon energy of root chakra. And root chakra, again, this acknowledgement, acknowledging what your needs are to feel secure, to feel grounded, to feel that you're taken care of, that you're safe in the world. And so the Newt card is all about us trusting the mystery of our cosmic calculus. You know, our natal chart is simply a blueprint of our soul this lifetime. It's a fingerprint for this lifetime of the identity of the soul. And we live that identity out by default or by destiny. By default, if we don't understand our cosmic calculus, and by destiny as we learn to do so. And so as you're learning to do so this lunar cycle, with this Durga boundary new moon energy in the gut chakra, which is this strong Martian disciplined energy, and with this root chakra energy ruled by Saturn. Saturn we know is very active. It's been active for the past year, very much with this Martian energy, and now they are conjunct in Capricorn, which Saturn rules. And so this Isis card with self-mothering and this Newt card of the orphan, this abandoned feeling, is telling you that the reason why this is important is so that you can focus on the transformation that is happening in your 11th house. So your 11th house of Capricorn is really showing you why certain things are showing up in your relationships with friends, or why certain things are showing up with regard to what you're gaining in your life. There are some things that you're receiving, perhaps from friends. There are things that you're receiving, some wishes that you may have, some silent prayers that are coming true, or that you're wondering why they aren't coming true. And this all has to deal with clearing up this energy around your clarity about your divinity. Okay, frequency meets frequency. And so this clouding that is existing right now is operating like a veil, or like some type of a shield for the blessings to come in if you're not receiving your blessings. And if this is a confirmation for those of you who are already in this frequency and you realize that the steps you're making towards self-mothering may be difficult, but you're working with it and you're committed to it, this is confirmation of why certain things that you have had silent prayers about are beginning to manifest slowly but surely, because you are releasing that veil. Now, as all of us are doing this, moving forward with this root chakra new moon energy, this is about regrounding yourself in your own security, your own sense of safety, your own sense of being grounded. That's why you want to work through this self-doubt about whether or not you're worthy to be cared for. You are, and you are doing that for yourself, or this lunar cycle is giving you the supportive energies in order to do so. How you're wanting to do that in the position is Yemiya, heart chakra, first quarter moon energy. You have three first chakra, first quarter moon energy cards. First quarter moon, making a decision to face a challenge. This is all about kicking off the party of the lunar cycle. Once we get that half moon going, we have half Great Father Light here. Great Father Light, of course, is blocked by Great Mother, who is speaking directly to us very clearly during the new moon period. She's closest to us. And by the first quarter moon, It's half and half great father, great mother energy, right? And we have that again with third quarter moon energy, which are the law cards of the deck. You don't have any law cards in your spread, but you have 3 first quarter moon cards. And so there's some decisions that are going to be coming up for you in the next week or so. And how you want to work with this energy is by surrendering yourself. You're surrendering yourself to your soul, surrendering yourself to your soul desire to create the balance that you are seeking. Having the heart, having the faith of knowing that the frequencies that you are feeling are true, but by embracing your divinity identity, realizing that it's not to judge or to condemn you. We are dearly loved divine children of the great Mother, Father, God, who are never what? Judged, condemned, or left alone. It's not to alienate you, but in order for you to embrace your power. Okay, and so you're becoming familiar with that heart power, bringing it up from that heart below chakra energy, that survival energy, and to that crossroads space of aligning with the soul. And so in order to do that, Yemiya, the Nigerian goddess of the waters and of the emotions and of the breath of the cosmos, and asserting that power to create life, you creating that new life, that new breath of maternal love and care within yourself. Now, how do you do that? By the daily practice of asserting your divinity identity and by working with the new moon. So new moon Aries wishes all have to do with initiation. And so this is a self-initiation this lunar cycle. Taurus will be dealing with the issues of security and grounding and that sort of thing. But Aries new moon energy is about initiation and initiating yourself into acting on what those frequencies are, the highest frequencies that you're receiving. And those are always about your divinity. This energy is very important with regard to the support that's available to you to climb out of this emotional abyss that many of you are in at this time, and to integrate the lessons that you've been learning over the last 2-3 years. There's been many lessons that you've learned, and the remedy to the deep darkness that may still be the residue of those lessons and the very courageous actions that you have taken up to this point is to ultimately recognize that your birth mother, your soul mate, who was the vessel who brought you into this physical realm, is simply experiencing her own mama drama trauma, and that despite the mama drama you have both exchanged with each other, she, just as you, are responsible for healing your own trauma. That is what this lunar cycle is about, ultimately, by working with these supportive energies that are going to show you how to climb out of this emotional abyss. As you self-mother, you're going to feel that power, you're going to feel that perception and that awareness more and more that, yes, I have taken this on. Yes, it has been extremely stressful, it has been strenuous, but I've been downloading, I've been receiving from Neptune. Neptune is delusion, but it's also distinctive awareness as well. It's also clarity with regard to what our emotional state is. But it is only gained through a real clear release of emotional attachment. That's why Aquarius is associated with detachment. It's not about the heart below energies, the survival, the connecting with others, second chakra, the self-esteem, the connecting with co-workers and neighbors. It's not about that physical connection. Aquarius, although in the Vedic it is ruled by Saturn, it is more of a karmic Saturnal energy that has to do with the overarching soul karmic mission to fulfill what the soul has come here to do. And Mama Drama Trauma, as a soul contract, is a long-term agreement to fulfill our evolution, which is the lesson of Mama Drama Trauma, to evolve in self-love, which is what this lunar cycle is about for you, and spiritual independence. The Birth Mother Root Chakra Crescent Moon card is planting that seed. So from this new moon to the next crescent moon, you will be prepared to plant a new seed of recognizing with loving detachment the inability, unavailability, and unreadiness of your birth mother or maternal figure to give you the love that you need, but that you are planting the seed to ground yourself with the self-love you provide you. If this reading resonated with you and you would like to learn how to read your own Great Mother Speaks messages, go to greatmotherspeaks.info for your deck and our group classes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this message has supported you in the way that you need support at this time. As always, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Great Mother speaks. I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.